Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, May 5th, a special day for yours truly. Welcome one and all to the High Risk Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And without further ado, let's get into the news. We've heard news about Liv Morgan possibly being in a new movie. She's taking time off, and it will be the third movie in the Bad Lieutenant series. This one will be directed by Takagi Mike. This is big things, big news for her. The tag team championships will not be stripped from Liv and Raquel. It'll be on hold. The legend, that is Meiko Satomura, has retired after her legendary 30-year career in professional wrestling. She had her last match, and ultimately was her longtime rival Asia Kong that requested to work with her. This is a beautiful thing. Put some respect on the legend's name. So we are told why the just fantastic TLC match from Smackdown last week was not on WrestleMania, and that's because, they were settled in with their matches and didn't think there would be enough time. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, there was 8 hours of WrestleMania, and the total match time for those 8 hours was about 4 hours. Let that sink in. I'm starting to become a little bit biased towards a certain company where the sickos reign supreme. Of course, we knew this was coming, but Mayu Iwatani has left Stardom and she's officially signed with Marigold. We kind of figured out what's going to happen. She has a strong father-daughter type relationship with Rossy Ogawa, a former TNA guy is now working in the AEW production structure. That'll be none other than Josh Matthews. We don't know if he's officially signed, but he is working with AEW. And some just crazy news from WWE. The trademark for Edge, yes, on this day, I see clearly the Radar Superstar. Yeah, they have let that lapse, so anybody can trademark it, and they are rushing to get it back. Let's see what Cope does. And some fantastic news for me, ladies and gentlemen. AEW has announced a residency at the 2300 Arena this early fall. They will be spending 7 days at the legendary ECW Arena, going from August 27th through September 11th. This will have, I believe, 3 dates each of Dynamite, 3 dates each of Collision, and Death Before Dishonor Ring of Honor pay-per-view. One of those collisions will be taped before All In. This is just great news. I'm going to do my best to go to at least 4 of the 7 shows. Am I crazy enough to go to all 7? We are going to find out. Crown Jewel, we got a time, a date, a place, location. Surprisingly, it will not be going down in Saudi Arabia. It will actually be going down this October 11th at the RAC Arena in Perth, Australia. WWE seems like Australia a lot. What this means is Saudi Arabia is probably getting another major pay-per-view. They're getting next year's Royal Rumble. I will not be surprised if they announce that the 2027 WrestleMania will be in Saudi Arabia. We got some departures on the AEW side of things. EJ Ndoka's contract has officially expired. They will not renew. This was a major issue for me, wasting a talent like that and letting him just escape. It just kind of sucks. Also, some other people have been moved around and not long with the company. That would be none other than The Righteous, the great tag team. I wish they would have done a little bit more in AEW. I hope they go back to TNA. And Sarah Stock is no longer with the company. She's a great coach. We'll see what happens here. TNA has signed 2 wrestlers, one of them being Octagon Jr., the international star, and the other, who has already been in the contract, we haven't seen her on TV, is none other than Harley Hudson. Chelsea Green has re-upped her contract and re-signed with the WWE. And on some really crappy news, there have been some WWE cuts and non-contract renewals, and they are, here we go, let me get the list up: Braun Strowman, Cora Jade, Dakota Kai, Danny Palmer, Eddie Thorpe, Gigi Dolan, Jakara Jackson, Javier Burnell, Joe Coffey, Katana Chance, Caden Carter, Keanu Carver, Mark Coffey, Ora Mensa, Riley Osborne, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, and Wolfgang. That is a lot of people. Some were expected, others not expected, like Gigi Dolan and Dakota Kai and Braun Strowman and Shayna Baszler and Shotzi, Katana and Kaden and Jakara Jackson. Like, I get why releases happen. The roster is already overloaded, but the one thing this is showing is, one, they don't care about you. Two, they don't care about you. Sucks. I'm expecting some of these names to sign to TNA, some to even sign to AEW, some to sign to NWA. Let's see where things go on the injury side of things. Sky Blue is in recovery, and she was backstage this past week at Dynamite. I cannot wait for her to return. I am praying for women's tag team titles in AEW. Kiana James is working her way back. She should be back soon from her injury layoff. She was called to the main roster. Really nothing happened with her. When it comes to Tama Tonga, looks like he's going to be out for a longer period than we actually thought, which means Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, Bloodline's futures are in doubt right now, and not Braun Strowman, but Bronson Reed gave an update on his first date. He's looking to make it to the Perth show this fall. That's the week with the news. We'll be right back with the weekend review. All right, we are back with the week in review. You know how we start off. Monday Night Raw. The show gets a fist, and the Messiah is back. That's essentially what Seth Rollins is at this point. So he and Braun are out. Seth's the future. Paul Heyman's backs him up. Braun Breaker's the future, and Sammy comes out. And Seth's like, "Look, Sammy, we are friends. We go back many years. This is about the friendship. I'm offering you a way out, because once we get done through Raw, there will be nothing left. And I care about you and I love you. Go to SmackDown." Paul Heyman pulls some strings. You can go to SmackDown. And Sammy's like, "Look, dog, I love you too, but you are full of it. You are essentially the new bloodline. Look who's standing right there." And Seth's like, "Look, all right, listen, I'm going to give you to the end of the night, okay? I'm going to give you till the end of the night." All right. Rhea Ripley, Roxanne, Perez had a match. It was really good. Rhea won by DQ because Julia got involved, and Roxanne and Julia escape once Io Sky arrives. I'm really expecting a bunch of these NXT women to be called up. Finn Balor wanted to hear from JD, like, "You my boy." And wires got crossed. Liv and JD got them a match against the Raiders, put them in position for the tag team titles. Finn just wants to be kept abreast of things. That is it. Jey Uso takes it to Logan Paul, because Logan Paul's a dumbass, and he ends up super kicking him. But then later backstage, after Jay is talking to Sammy, Logan punches him. The Viking Raiders, War Raiders, end up beating the Judgment Day after Penta got involved. Paul Heyman entices the offer to Sami Zayn and tells him that if you leave for SmackDown, you will be the next in line for the WWE Championship. All right. Becky Lynch, listen, she was like, "Yo, I'm just getting back at Bayley." You know what I mean? She's attacked me time and time again since like 2019. Never once apologized. I took her out. And she said she was trying to save Lyra. Lyra's not trying to hear it. They have a fight. I'm liking heel Becky. I'm liking this fire from. This is the best promo Lyra Valkyria has ever done. Nick Aldis tells Penta that he cannot get involved in matches like that and gives him JD for next week. Rusev is essentially the Redeemer. That's the gimmick he's doing. It worked for him in AEW. Let's see if it works for him here in the WWE. Stephanie Vaquer defeated Ivy Now. Pat McAfee calls out Gunther and will get him at Backlash. Seth wants to know Sammy's answer. Sammy declines. You did this to yourself. He gets a match against Braun Breaker, and Braun gives him triple spears, and then gets a curb stomp for his troubles. Over on Dynamite, or the Walls closing in on the Riders. The Elite and Ricochet defeated Kenny Omega, Mark Briscoe, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey in a fun little all-star tag team match. We've been getting a bunch of these recently, and they're kind of just used to fill time. MVP does Bobby Lashley. Listen, to give MJF a chance. That's it. The Ops won a squash match, and then the Riders attacked them after the match. Joe ups the ante and wants a box in a steel cage match. Mercedes Moné has a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette, and Monet's like, listen, I respect Jamie Hayter, but I gotta be here to better my legacy, because I want all the championships. Nick Wayne wants to get ready for the Super Juniors tournament over in New Japan, and Jey Lethal comes up and challenges him, longest reigning TV champion versus the current youngest ever TV champion. Christian accepted on Nick Wayne's behalf. Christian actually wasn't wrong for this. Tony Storm defeated Miyu Mashida in an eliminator match. Yeah, Mashida is one of the few people to ever win an eliminator match, but not this time. Jamie Hayter runs off Mercedes Moné, who showed up after the match. Don Kyle's in a family hype Kyle Fletcher for the main event. The Ops won a squash match, and MJF is tired of Lashley, so Lashley tells MJF, you know what? Go out and hurt someone. Who'll be the first victim? Nick Wayne defeated Jay Lethal, and in the main event, Hangman Adam Page defeated Kyle Fletcher to reach the Owen Hart final. So that match will be going down at Double or Nothing. It will be Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay. Over on Impact, we have the Rebellion Fallout show. This show gets a fist. Mance Warner and Sami Callihan now have some mutual respect for each other after the war that they went through. The Armory attacked Steve Macklin. Security stopped them from doing something worse and going any further. Moose defeated Zachary Wentz, retaining the X Division Championship. John Scarlett says Ali is going to destroy everything. That's how we move forward. Tonight is Cody Deaner's last night. He's thankful for everything that professional wrestlers brought to him, especially in TNA. And Santino says, listen, I can't give you a new contract, but I can extend it. And if you beat Eddie Edwards at Under Siege, I can put in a good word at the board for you. Robert Stone and Victoria Crawford, the former Alicia Fox, comes out and tells Santino that he's under review, and the board has put Robert Stone in charge of Santino, and Victoria is the deputy director. Well, she will get Masha slammed for the championship. Masha later on is like, listen, you've done nothing these last half decade plus, so going to end up beating your ass. Tessa Blanchard walked off with Robert Stone and Crawford because she's mad at Santino. Jody Threat defeated Maggie Lee. The Elegants want to give Maggie a makeover. Indy Hartwell crosses the line. She's officially part of the TNA roster. Leon Slater defeated Casey Navarro in the main event. The Nemus and Kaz beat Joe Hendry and the Hardys. And Trick Williams dropped Joe Hendry after the match. Trick is becoming more and more like Carmelo Hayes. Over on SmackDown, this was not a good show. It was a very, very weak show. This show gets a thumbs down. LA Knight and Priest have some words with each other, and Priest is like, I kind of did cost you. No, not nice. Like, nah, you cost me my match. You screwed up. I gotta take this out on you. So they end up having a match. Their match is ended in no contest. The Solo attacked them, and right as Solo is about to get his ass beat down, Jacob Fatu finishes the job and takes out everybody, saving his cousin. I think they're cousins. Fraxium defeated Pretty Deadly. Me, Chin, and B-Fat won a tag team title shot. Chelsea wants a rematch, and Nick Aldo puts Piper Niven in a number one contenders match against Zelina Vega. Nia Jax will get her revenge on Tiffany Stratton, but Tiffany has no regrets about cashing in on Nia. And Naomi comes out and is like, I remember facing Nia for the championship, and Tiffany, you costing me that match. And now I gotta go and get you and get mine. And she will take matters into her own hands. Jay Cargill comes for Naomi, and a tag team match is made for later in the evening. Aleister Black defeated The Miz. Ray Phoenix and Santos Escobar will go at it because they got some words with each other. Zelina Vega ended up defeating Piper Niven. Solo Sikoa accidentally gets Jacob Fatu a title match in a fatal four-way at Backlash, which doesn't make sense because Drew was the number one contender. And all this is like, listen, Priest and Knight are going to be in a triple threat match, and then Solo's like, that doesn't make sense because Drew's the number one contender, so down to fatal four-way. Still doesn't make sense. They lost the number one contender match to Drew McIntyre. It doesn't make sense. Randy Orton essentially says the Legend Killer is back, and John Cena will get his head punted off. R-Truth is confused because he's pulling for John Cena. Well, we know Cena's going to murder this man. Rey Fenix defeated Santos Escobar. Andrade tells Santos that he doesn't have any honor. And in the main event, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton defeated Naomi and Nia Jax, but Naomi is the one to stand tall with the championship over on Collision. This was a Charlotte show to move stories ahead. Collision's got to feel like a little bit more important. Just a little bit more. They can get all these matches in on Collision, but not on Dynamite. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Just I need a little bit more urgency on Collision. But the opening contest was Toni Storm defeating Lady Frost in an eliminator match, and Toni, as always, is timeless. Jon Moxley still respects Joe and accepts his challenge for the steel cage, but it's over for Joe because his career is about to be ended. Sammy Guevara defeated Roosh, AR Fox, and I was going to say LA Knight. Kevin Knight, he eyes Adam Cole, who's on the commentary desk for the TNT Championship. Samoa Joe will get Claudio Castagnoli next week, and he's going to end Mox. Mega Bang defeated Harley Cameron, but Anna Jay made the save after the match. Nice little tag team feud we got coming up. I need tag team titles, man, for the women. John Moxley calls out Joe, but Joe doesn't answer. The Outrunners challenge Trent and Rocky Romero. Josh Alexander and Brody King fight to a time limit draw. Brody ends up taking out Alexander and Lance Archer after the match. Max Caster's Best Wrestler Alive challenges now who can survive 5 minutes with the Best Wrestler Alive. Well, Daniel Garcia comes out and beats him in under a minute. So technically, shouldn't Max win because, well, Garcia didn't survive 5 minutes with the Best Wrestler Alive. Garcia says he'll deal with FTR after their match later in the evening. Anthony Bowens is challenged by Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. The Gates of Agony want to squash, and then they're called out by the Learning Tree. He's in the parking lot, so they go out there having themselves a nice little brawl. And then the main event, FTR defeated the Paragon in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Dan Garcia tells FTR that he'll fight the whenever, wherever, because he's tired of their BS. Our matches of the week. It was a little hard to kind of pull some matches. Some were really good, not great, but still good enough to be here. So from Raw, Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez. From Dynamite, Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher in that Owen Cup semifinal match. This might have been the best match of the week. Really, really good. From Smackdown, Rey Fenix versus Santos Escobar. From New Japan, Dontaku, Shingo Takagi versus Shota Umino. Yota Tsuji versus Yuya Uemura for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, and Hirooki Goto versus Callum Newman for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. From Collision, Brody King versus Lance Archer, and FTR versus the Paragon in that 2 out of 3 falls match. Star of the week, I'm gonna give it to Brody King and Josh Alexander. But that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen we got coming up, and check out the socials. Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.